My name is Yves Votteler, and I graduated from EHL Passugg in 1997. Today I live near Geneva, Switzerland, and I am the CFO of an IT consulting company, and I am responsible for Switzerland, Germany and Austria, as we're part of a big Belgian group with about 3,500 employees. For me, it was a second choice, but I regret it not being my first choice. Really, I started with a technical studies at a university in Switzerland, which really wasn't for me. So after the Matura, I made this choice out of different reasons, and after a time, I found out it was not for me. But I already had the hotel school as such as a second choice in my mind. But after the Matura, I was not sure if this really was for me or not. Maybe I didn't do the research well, which I should have done. And so after this, I started hotel school, and really, I started here in Passugg, and after a week or two, I was for me, it was really eye-opening. I lived again. It was very good, very nice. It was, small classes with teachers. You're very close to the teachers. You have a question, you have anything, you can go over the courses with them. You have with the students together. The first year you live together at the hotel school. So there's a lot of exchange with students from a lot of different countries. It's something I really liked, especially because from my past, myself, I grew up speaking Spanish and German, and I grew up in Guatemala. So I arrived in Switzerland when I was 17, and I was missing this mixing of cultures and speaking different languages. So I arrived here, I could speak well. I was in the German course and English with the students from, at that time, with lots of students from the Scandinavian countries or from Cyprus, and also from Asia, so speaking English with them. There were some students from Argentina and Puerto Rico, so we spoke Spanish together. So really, for me, it was very eye-opening, and it was the right choice. So what I should have done from the beginning. After graduating, I started working in the hotel business. I started at the Quellenhof in Bad Ragaz. I worked there for a little bit more than a year, and I wanted to change, and at that point in time there was no opening at the Quellenhof, so I moved to Zurich, and I worked there at the Hilton at the airport. And there I started working first in F&B, and I did this for about 1.5 years, and I wanted to see something else. This is the nice thing about hotel school. You see so many things, you learn so many things, and then afterwards you're able to try them out and find what suits you best. And that's how I came into the finance department at the hotel. And I found out that that was for me something that I really liked. And I decided then to start get a diploma in accounting and finance, which I did in the evenings while working and weekends. So this took me about 3 years. And in that period of time, things changed, and I got an opportunity to go work for an IT company as finance, while I was still doing my diploma in finance and accounting. And so that's how I came into the IT world. At that point in time, I worked from them. This was an American company with their headquarters for Switzerland in Zurich. I worked from them, and once I had my diploma, they offered me to join their headquarters for Europe and the Middle East in Paris. And so that's how I went to Paris. I worked there at the headquarters for 2 years in pricing. So I went a little bit out of the finance position and was involved a lot with salespeople, and I was doing because we worked on big projects, so I was doing also business planning for those projects, which then I had to present to the CFO EMEA, and sometimes depending on the investment that had to be done, I even had to present to the CFO worldwide in the US. And so I started traveling for the company to the US a lot, to the headquarters in the US. Then the headquarters, they were moved from Paris to Geneva. That's how I arrived in Geneva. So I continued working with the company in different positions, always in finance, FP&A, so financial planning and analysis, operating costs, and so on and so forth. And after a time, it was time to change again. And I did a small pause, and I decided to do an executive MBA, which I did in Lyon, École de Management de Lyon, which is near of Geneva. It's about 1.5 hours drive. And after doing this, I was hired by a small IT company that had only offices in Geneva and Lausanne to build up their finance department, because they were at the point where they needed a finance department. They couldn't do it anymore by themselves. And yeah, and I started working there. I built up the finance department, and this company was bought by the Belgian group for which I'm working today. And from one thing to the other, this Belgian group bought a company in Germany that had a subsidiary in Austria, and I was asked to be responsible from a finance and back office point of view for the whole, as you say, the DACH region. So that's how I arrived to being the CFO for DACH region. Especially now that I'm in a different business in finance and not in the hospitality industry anymore. One of the big things I learned here is to listen, to that we always are a service. So all the finance department I've built up in the different companies I've worked for is what I tell to my colleagues and the people that work for me is we are here, we're a service. We're a service for the sales department. We're a service for the marketing department. We are here to serve them. They need the numbers. We need to look from a legal point of view that everything is okay. But so this mind of being there and not servicing others, but in a good way, and being open-minded. Because that's what you learn here, having so many nationalities under the same roof. You live with them together for a year. It's not always easy at all. You have people you like, you have people you don't like, but you need to live together. So this helps a lot. It's a very easy to answer. I'm here today with my son, who's turning 16 end of the month, and he's doing the Matura. And we started talking about what he might want to do in the future, and then he came up, why not hotel school? So now we're on a ski week here near from Passugg, also with his Götti, how do you say that in English again? His godfather, right? With his godfather, who also is an alumni from here. So we called up and asked if it was possible to have lunch here and maybe have a tour. So I'm here with my son and my daughter, who's a little bit smaller, and to show him. I said it's the best experience you can have is you come with us, you go around, we have somebody show us, one of the students, you can talk to the people, and yes, so for me, yes, I would recommend it, else I wouldn't be here with my son.